In this video, we are building an AI agent that reads every CV that comes in and tells you exactly who's worth your time. Let's get started. For this workflow, I'm going to use email as my entry point, but you can use whatever entry point you prefer. The logic remains the same. So let's choose Gmail on message received. I'm going to trigger this once every hour. You want to disable simplify, then click on add filter, read status, and you want to choose unread emails only. Then click on add option, download attachments, and you want to enable download attachment because we want to download the CVs from the incoming emails. Then again, click on add option, attachment prefix, and let's swap it to CV. Next, I'm going to trigger this workflow because I already sent a few CVs to this email inbox just to keep using the data moving forward. Okay, so we have got our CV0. By the way, this is the CV that I have built using Canva that I'm currently using with NAN workflow. And I think this is the structure that most people follow when applying for jobs, but regardless of the type of CVs you receive, this NAN workflow will be able to process it, so you don't need to worry about it. The next thing we need to do is to extract the information from the CVs we are going to receive inside this email inbox. So what we need is extract from file, and you want to choose extract from PDF. Then you want to swap data with the name of this orange name here, which is CV0. As you can see, this is the information we have extracted from this PDF, which is the CV that I have sent to this email inbox. The next thing we need is an AI agent that is going to process the information of this CV and tells us whether this person meets our criteria or not. So click on the plus again and search for AI agent. Then swap source for prompt to define below. On the user prompt, let's say something like process the following CV and drag in the text here. Then click on add option, system prompt. The system prompt is the most critical part inside this workflow because it is what the agent is going to use to decide whether a candidate is a good fit or not. For this example, I'm looking for candidates that have experience with N8N, Cloud Code, and similar tools. So it has three sections: role, task, and output. On the role, I'm giving it an overview. On the task section, I'm clearly defining what I want and how it should evaluate things. And on the output, I want it to return JSON valid object because I want to read every variable separately. Beside the basic information that we are going to extract from the CV, that's mean like first name, last name, email address, and the phone number. We also want the agent to tell us whether this person is a good fit, bad fit, or not sure, as well as the reasoning. This means what signals it used to decide whether this person is a good fit or a bad fit. And based on the reasoning, we can improve this prompt moving forward. By the way, this prompt was generated on the fly for this demo, so I highly recommend you spend more time when crafting your own prompt. The next thing we need to do is to enable require specific output format. Then we need to provide this AI agent a chat model, so search for OpenAI. In my case, I'm going to use 4.1 mini, but you can use a different model if you want. Then come to output parser, structured output parser. Then let's swap schema type to define using JSON schema. Okay, let's turn this one to expression, expand it, and I'm going to use the following example. So I'm giving it three different examples: an example for a good fit, a bad fit, and not sure. Now let's give it a test and see how it is going to process our CV. The agent has finished running. As you can see from the output, we have a profile summary, so we don't need to go through the entire CV just to figure out the experience of this person, as well as the reasoning why it decided that this person is a bad fit. By the way, every CV that is going to be processed by our AI agent will be stored inside this sheet. It has all the elements that we are extracting from the AI agent. This means first name, last name, email address, and so on. Real quick, if you need help implementing this system or need a more customized version of it, you can always reach out to me using the first link on the description below. Back to the workflow. Now that our AI agent is able to process CVs that we receive inside our email inbox, we need to create different routes. So if they are good fit, they will receive an email, for example, to schedule a call. If they are bad fit, they will receive an automatic rejection email. And if the AI agent is not sure about the candidate, it will route that CV to the person in charge, so that person can decide whether this candidate is a good fit or not. So what we need in this case is a switch node. This way we can create the different routes I mentioned previously. Let's bring in the fit status here. Let's name this one good fit. Now we have the three different routes: a route for good fit, for not sure, and for bad fit, and each one will trigger a specific set of actions. By the way, the reason why I typed good fit this way, that's because inside my system prompt, if you remember, I clearly instructed to output the fit status as good underscore fit, not underscore sure or bad underscore fit. Since our AI agent has flagged the previous CV we have used as a bad fit, so let's start working on the bad fit route. So click on the plus, search for Google Sheets, append row in sheet. I'm going to select the sheet that I'm using to store all the candidates data. And now let's drag in the data from our AI agent. For the status, since it is a bad fit route, so I'm going to type in bad fit AI reasoning. And for the date of submission, let's turn it to expression. Now that format month, day, year. The next thing we are going to do is sending an email to the candidate informing them that their application was rejected. In my case, I'm going to add a wait node. You don't need to do that necessarily. It certainly doesn't feel right to send an instant email rejection. So we are going to wait for, let's say, an hour. Then click on the plus, search for Gmail, send a message. On the two, we want to bring in the email from the AI agent. On the subject line, we are going to type in something like update regarding your application for AI automation specialist. And for the body, I'm going to use the following message. Since this workflow is set to process unread emails only, we want to turn this email to read because we don't want this workflow to process the same email over and over again. So again, click on the plus, search for Gmail, mark a message as read, and you want to drag in the message ID from the Gmail trigger like this. Now let's give this path a shot and see how everything will look like. Our workflow has finished running. Let's take a look inside our Google Sheet. It is a good fit, but I thought that it was a bad one. Let's go back to our workflow. I think I've made a mistake. Yes, the status needed to be bad fit, not a good fit. And if it was a bad fit, it would look something like this. Okay, everything looks clean. Let's take a look inside my email inbox. And as you can see, update regarding your application for AI automation specialist. Hey Richard, thank you for giving us the chance to review your profile and so on. As you can see, we have this NaN attribution and we definitely want to disable it. So let's go back to our NaN workflow. Click on send message, add option, append NaN attribution. Let's disable it. Again, add option, sender name, and you want to include your name. Now let's work on the rest of the two paths. That's mean the not sure and the good fit. I'm going to keep not sure at the end because there are a few things that we are going to do differently compared to this path and the good fit path as well. For the good fit, we are literally going to use the same exact process we have used for the bad fit. So we are going to copy all these and paste them again, connect them with the good fit, then click on the node for Google Sheet, and you want to switch the bad fit with good fit. As for the wait, I don't know, we can swap it to, for example, 30 minutes, something like this. Then for the copy, it will be obviously something different. So let's remove this one. For the subject line, I'm going to say something like next step, your application for AI automation specialist, and let's use the following copy. For the not sure path, we are going to send notification to the person in charge to review the CV where the AI agent wasn't confident whether this person is a good fit or not. And for this, we are going to include human in the loop. In my case, I'm going to use Gmail, but you can definitely use a different tool if you want. Operation send and wait for response. 2, I'm going to send it to myself. Let's say something like candidate review needed, action required, and use the following copy. Inside here, we are going to include all the details. This means the full name of the person. Reason for uncertainty, it is the reasoning, but the person in charge will see why the AI agent couldn't process this person as a good fit or bad fit. And based on the reasoning, you can edit your system prompt. Next, click on approval option, add option, and approve and disapprove. Let's swap approve with good fit and decline with bad fit. Then again, let's disable the append NaN attribution. In order to continue working on the not sure path, we need to trigger the following node. This means send and wait. I'm going to process the same CV, except that I'm going to instruct this agent to treat the CV as not sure, just to be able to trigger the following path. So let's come here, process the following CV as not sure. Okay, we have received an email. Let's take a look. Candidate review needed, action required. And as you can see, we have all details of the candidate, their basic information, as well as profile summary and the reason for uncertainty. And below, we get to decide whether this person is a good fit or a bad fit. Let's say something like good fit. Then let's go back to our NaN workflow, pin the following data, click on the plus and search for switch. So basically inside the switch node, we need two routes, the good fit route and the bad fit one. So click on add routing rule, bring in the approved here. Switch is equal to Boolean is true. Let's name it good fit. Add another one, approved. Again, Boolean is false. Let's do bad fit. Now we have two routes, and all you need to do is copy this one for the bad fit one, connect it here again, copy this one, and let's connect it to the good fit. Now there is one small thing left for us to do, which is preventing duplicates from happening inside our Google Sheet. There are cases when a candidate sends 2 or 3 CVs and we don't want them to be all added inside our Google Sheet, so we only want them to be added once, and if they send duplicates, we can simply ignore them. And in order to do so, we need to add 2 nodes. The first node we need to add is after the AI agent. In our case, since we are storing our data inside the Google Sheet, let's search for Google Sheet again, but this time you want to choose Get Rows in Sheet. Next, you want to click on Add Filter. For the column, let's pull email address, and the value, let's bring in here email. Then click on the plus, search for Filter, then bring in email here and search for Does Not Exist. Now our system will only capture candidates that doesn't exist inside our Google Sheet. I hope you found value in this video. If you did, feel free to drop a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you need help implementing this workflow for your business or need a more customized version, you can always reach out to me using the first link on the description below. See you on the next video.